Hi there. So today's video will show you how you go from having an order to creating a production order to receiving a production order, and at the end point invoicing the original order from which it all was created. So first of all, we will start with creating what we will call for this session a pre-order. This can of course both be created from within the backend as an admin or an agent, or it can be created as a B2B webshop order from a retailer. We will show it from the backend just for the ease of it. So we will just start with create this order. Choose here. Choose a pre-order drop. Take one of all. From Trade with Love. And approve it. So now we have an order. There's nothing returned from our inventory because it's a pre-order, so we just kind of have the order in a system saying that at some point we need to make a production or purchase order on these 4 pieces to have them to eventually invoicing these items. So what we'll do from here is that we will go to doing a purchase order. So we'll go up under production order, and from in here we will start a new production order, choose from which supplier this production order slash purchase order should be created from. So this of course also means that you need to have applied your or added your suppliers to all your products to be able to do a production order. But we have done that already, so we will just start here. So when you create this, you have the possibility to either create it dependent on the products, so you can click off several products, add them, and then type in the quantities. Then it's kind of free selection, but you can also do the PO depending on the orders that you've received, and this is what we're going to do here. So for this example, we won't do it on one order, but in reality you could have a full order list of AV20 orders that you would like to combine in this PO. Then you are able to just go in and click them all off. You can filter down so you only see from a specific collection or specific drop. So today we will just choose the order we just created, press save orders, and then we have it down here. So what you're able to see here is what do we actually currently have in stock. So in this case we have a lot in stock already, but usually there will be, if it's a pre-order for a new collection, it will say 0. So the line up here, ordered, is what how many pieces of this specific product is on the orders that we've chosen. So we only have this one product on our order we just created, and one of each size. So what I can do from here is I can move everything that is ordered up to the line of the quantity that I would like to order from my supplier, and then I am actually also free to go in and update it if I would like that. So I can order some extras. When I've done this, I can say save now. The reason why we do it depending on the orders is that it will allow us to, when we receive the PO at some point, or receive delivery of the PO at some point, and put it into our inventory, then when we create the PO depending on orders, the quantity that is of the PO that is what can we say, created because of the orders, that quantity will automatically be reserved on that specific order. So when we have created this one, we will for ourselves say put into production. From here we're able to send an email with the PDF and Excel format of the PO to our supplier or to ourselves if we would like that, and create a text for the email. In this case, we won't send anything. We'll just mark it as put into production. So here we will now. This will be in the case where they come back to us and say, so we are able to deliver upon your PO request. We expect to deliver on a certain date, and then of course you would like to, whatever the amounts that you receive at that delivery date, you would like it to be put into your in stock, so you can start invoicing your retailers when the stock comes back in. So we have marked the tools here, create a delivery. So here we will look at the documentation we get from our supplier. So as a standard, we just say, so everything on the PO should be applied to the delivery, but in some cases you might have a supplier coming back and say, we're going to deliver in 3 drops or more or less. So you might want to take out some of the styles or quantities from your first delivery. That's quite easily done, either by clicking none, clicking back all if everything should be, or if you're changing in it. So just remember, every time you do any changes here, you have to save in top header. So when you receive at the last date, when they come back to you, say it's sent, you can mark it as sent, and then when at some point you receive the delivery from your supplier, you will go back in here again through your production module, production order, find the specific production order, find the specific delivery, and then you're able to put in different informations. So it could be the supplier invoice number, it could be a PDF copy of the invoice that the supplier sent you, it could be a note for the delivery, and then when you have it all, you're also able to go in and check the cost prices. You're able to put in any fees that should be applied to the delivery of the PO. So it all comes down to when you at some point need to book your delivery for the PO, to create your landed cost prices and so forth. But for the case of this, we won't go deeper into that, but just that is something you need to be aware of when you at some point set up the production module on your trade account. But for this case, we will just say that we have now received the delivery, and we are ready to put it into, we have done the counting, and we're ready to put what we received into our inventory in trade. So all we want to do there is just to click the receive, and again click receive. This will mean that we now have put in 8 pieces of Abigail to our inventory, and we'll be able to see that when going in to our inventory and find Abigail. Then we can actually see here that we have received our PO consisting of 8 pieces, and we can see that all the pieces on our order that we created today has been reserved. So this actually means that we now can go into our order It's fully reserved, and we're now able to create either a shipment if we have a shipment module attached to trade, have an external partner in regards to our storage, or using web shipper, or you can just go directly to creating your invoice. So in this case it would just be create invoice. We're going to choose, we know that we have reserved everything on this order, so we are able to do all here. Go into our invoice, make any changes that might should be. So this is a DK customer, so it should be 25% VAT. If you have any shipping cost, handling fees, or whatever, payment terms, bank account, so all the standard things that you would need to create an invoice should be applied here. You can change the date of the invoice as well. You can make a note, so forth. At the end, you will book the invoice. Depending on your settings in trade, you are allowed to either apply your own invoice number, or it can be a fourth running invoice number as you would know it from, for example, economic. But when everything is ready and set, you will just say book invoice. So now we booked our invoice. This will be, if you are linked up with economic, this invoice will be sent to economic and booked in economic. And then when you receive the money from your retailer, you will clear the balance in on this specific invoice in economic. So all the money handling afterwards and finance will be handled from within economic. But if we go back to inventory, just for you to see this as well, we're going to find Abigail again and go into changes, and now you can see that 4 of the 8 pieces, or four of the 4 pieces from our inventory has been withdrawn from our from that exact inventory and is linked to the invoice that we just created. This also means that the reservation that we saw just before is now gone, because we have invoiced the full order, and that means that the order is archived and therefore no longer holds a reservation on this specific product. So this is how you come from creating or receiving a pre-order to creating a PO depending on orders, to receiving your PO, to finally invoicing that or those orders you received probably months back. So quite straightforward, and it's not a manual process in regards to keeping track of your inventory.